It's, do you think modern jiu-jitsu students are more entitled?
Than guys from years ago?
Yes.
Way more entitled. Way more entitled. Way more entitled. 100%.
Oh, here's the comments coming. I feel the comments just
from blue belt to black belt. Because so check this out. So you have like and blue belts are way better than they were 10 and 20 years ago, for sure. But you have guys that are like, you know what, I'm going to be a part of this team. Like a blue belt, I'm going to be a part of this team. I regularly win at IBJJF Opens, and I've medaled at some majors. I have an opportunity, you know, I'm going to be a world champion at some point. And it's almost as if, hey, I'm thinking about coming here and training. Like I even tell my students when they visit another city, or excuse me, not when they visit, if they're moving to another city, I will tell, like if they say, hey, is there anywhere you want me to train? And I'm like, you got it. You train where you feel most comfortable. I'm not going to be there. You're going to be there. If it's somebody that I like a lot and that I know is a reputable instructor, I'll say I would go here if I were you, but basically draw a radius around your home and office and figure out as far as you're willing to go, and then visit every school in between. And you figure that out. Okay. I have people that this doesn't happen too often that'll come to me and they're like, hey, I'm letting you know I'm checking out schools in the area and I'm going to give you a shot for a couple of days. Like everything is about how you say it and intentions too. It's like, hey, I'm just going to be here for a couple of days. I'm going to try it out. Like I always feel like you don't even need to say that. Just come for a couple of classes and then go and check out other schools. Cause you know this too, Alec. If you would have said that 10 and 20 years ago, you would have just got your butt kicked in class. You would have just got your butt kicked for going there and even training.
I always make sure that hey, I'm coming in town, just let you guys know I'm not going to drop in. I just want to make sure it's cool.
Right. But you do that because of your experience from when you first started.
Yeah. I want to introduce myself. I don't want to, if maybe they're like, hey, we don't want you here. Okay, that's fine. I completely understand.
Right.
But it's not like, hey, can I train for free? I'll teach a few classes. I'm not doing that.
Right. And you have blue belts that will do that. They're like, hey, I'm thinking about joining you guys, but I'm also going to check out other place down the street. And I have had this happen once. It's like, it really comes down to style of jiu-jitsu. And I'm sitting here thinking, here's this, he might be good. This blue belt's coming in here and telling me about his style of jiu-jitsu and he's looking for an instructor that fits his style. Like, that goes without saying, maybe, but what do you know?
Are they also asking for like, hey, I'll teach a few classes and I don't have to pay, right? Are they doing something like that too?
I've had that happen before. Let's see here. I'm trying to remember the exact scenario, but I do. Oh yeah. Like, hey, and it wasn't even like hey, I got a money issue. I just lost my job. It wasn't even like that. It was like, actually, yeah. Okay. So this particular guy, he had a very good job. And I thought he had really, really good jiu-jitsu. So as I say this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Not who, but you'll know what I'm talking about. He always came in late. He always left early.
So I do believe modern jiu-jitsu students are more entitled. And I think that's just because the people that are attracted to jiu-jitsu now are different than, 10, 20 years ago. Because 10, 20 years ago, like you were actively seeking out jiu-jitsu and it wasn't popular. It wasn't on TV. It wasn't cool. It was like, I remember not telling people I did jiu-jitsu. I would just tell them, hey, I do wrestling or judo or something. So I didn't have to explain what jiu-jitsu was. It's kind of like judo. Yeah, it's kind of like that. And then, they're like, oh, I do karate. My little cousin she's a black belt in karate. Like that happened to me when I was a blue belt. Like,
yeah.
So I remember go ahead, Sergi.
You're like, that's not even the same thing. It's like when somebody says they were like, oh yeah, you do karate. And it's like, no, I don't do karate. And it's like, oh yeah, my cousin does karate, or my little niece does karate. And it's like, martial arts might be the same fruit, but that's apples and oranges. It's the same thing. It's not even close.
But even in karate, like when it originally came to America, it was like serious, the guys were serious. They were fighting.
Yes. That is true.
It wasn't until,
Yes.
decades later where it became more of a joke almost.
Absolutely. So, are we going to save this for another video?
Yeah, but
That
it's good
that
to
one
touch
right
on it.
there.
It's
I
good to
think.
touch on it.
Yeah. Like, where's jiu-jitsu going? Is it going to end up there? I mean, you and I started 20 years ago. The other thing, what you were saying about jiu-jitsu was it was so intimidating back then. And this whole thing with like visiting schools, it's really cool, and people are very open to it now. I don't know of any school that I probably wouldn't be welcome in. But no, not 20 years ago. I mean, I still went and trained at places, but I felt very unwelcome in a lot of places that I went.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't name names. Some of them are still around.
Yeah, there's certain places where I was like, I'm definitely not going there.
Right. For
Yeah.